Hello and welcome to our second pop-up LinkedIn Live. Now, this is just a short live event where I talk about a specific topic and don't have a guest. Today's topic is, as you can see, LinkedIn company pages, the new premium subscription, and is it worth the money? If you don't know me, my name is Lynnaire Johnston. I head a little company called Linkability, and my team and I work with customers, clients, individuals all over the world to help them leverage the power of LinkedIn to achieve their professional goals. And we do that in a number of different ways. We have a marketing program for companies. We do help people with company page work, individual profile makeovers, coaching and training. And of course, we have our events. We have these LinkedIn Lives and fortnightly audio events as well. Now, today's topic is the new premium for LinkedIn company pages, and let me tell you why. I'm the co-author of the world's only book about LinkedIn company pages called Business Gold, and we like to make sure that we are up with the play with everything to do with company pages. In the earlier part of the year, LinkedIn told us that they were going to be doing a premium version, that's a paid for version of pages. And then at the end of April, we were invited to trial it. Well, we like a good experiment here at Linkability, so we signed up. And today I want to tell you about what that has meant for us and how it has worked, what it has included, so that you can decide whether it's something that you would like to have a go at for your business as well. So let's start with what LinkedIn promised when it first gave us access to this trial. Well, first of all, it said that we would get more clients. Well, that would be nice. It would allow the page to stand out with a custom testimonial, and it certainly has delivered on that. It shows you one person a day who has visited your page, and we'll talk more about how that works in just a minute. It gives you AI help to draft posts, and the less I say about that, the better. I'm sure that if you know me, you know very well what I think about AI helping people to write their posts. And the final thing is that it would help us grow our pages faster with automatic invites for people who visited the page and engaged on our content. So, what are the features? Well, first of all, there were several new things that actually came with the trial. And the trial ran for a month. And because we wanted to give it a very good go, after that, we decided that we would sign up and pay for the next 2 months at least, just to see whether or not it was something that was going to be of value in the longer term, and whether it would be something that we wanted to recommend to our clients. So the features that come with the new premium for pages are, first of all, a custom button visibility. Now, this is the blue button that sits in your page intro section, and it is the external link that takes people to another site that you nominate. It could be your website, it could be your blog, but you have to choose from the choices that LinkedIn give you for that. And it is the same choice that you get for your profile if you are a premium member and want to use the custom button there. Now, the point about this, though, is that without premium, this button is now buried in the More drop-down menu, so it's not visible on the page header, but with premium it now is, and in the left-hand spot. But earlier in the year, LinkedIn sent me an email to say that it was going to be moving the Messages tab to the left-hand spot and putting that in blue instead. Now, I don't think that is a particularly good move, because most people don't message a company page, and it doesn't seem a great deal of use to me. Visitor analytics have improved, so we get more numbers, more demographics, so that we can see who has visited our page and whether we're attracting the right potential clients through it. There is the addition of a testimonial, and I do like this with some qualifications, which I'll explain shortly. But we have a 250 character testimonial sitting in the page header section. We get also an auto invite of new followers. So if someone visits the page, engages on the content, they then are automatically invited to follow the page. I think that's a really good thing. The AI post writer, I will just skip over. Custom highlights is another really great idea. Now, this didn't come with the original trial. This arrived a little bit after that. If people are signing up for a trial now, they may well have this right from the very beginning. We didn't. So the custom highlights is 4 external links that you can take people to your website, your blog, your YouTube channel, anywhere that you want to send people. You can do this with display text. Now remember that the custom button does not have the display text. You have to choose from the list that LinkedIn gives you. So these are really good, and I'll show you how they look in a minute. And as I've already mentioned, the messages are to become the default custom action button. The testimonial is a completely new feature for Premium for Pages, which in theory, I really quite like. It started with 80 characters of text in which we could add in what the testimonial was, who the person was who had given it to us, and their company name, which is what I think a testimonial needs. I think a testimonial that shows really good social proof needs to have the person's name and their company, not simply just their initials, because that really doesn't confer any credibility at all, does it? Also, you can add the person's photo, which comes from their LinkedIn profile, which I think is an excellent idea. Now, 80 characters is very short. It's not nearly enough to write something that is meaningful. So in very short order, LinkedIn increased that to 250 characters, which you can see in the bottom image there. Now, only 2 lines of that display, but it is enough to make sure that people can see the main text about you and what people are saying. Let me tell you, however, about the downside of this. You can write your own testimonial. Now, we, of course, made sure that the people who we were putting up there as writing these testimonials about us were actually happy about this, and they certainly were very keen to do that. But it is one of the major downsides of this is there is no transparency. If you didn't know that that person hadn't written the testimonial, then you would automatically expect that that was the case. But those in the know will go, really? Is that true? Is that real? It could be anybody. So I do think that they have let themselves down with this particular one. Now, of course, with recommendations and reviews on our profiles, they do have to come from the person who is delivering those or giving those to us. And so that is not the same problem there as it is here. So I would like to see this one fixed, because I think that is one issue with the testimonials. But other than that, love them to bits. We can also see who has visited our pages. Now, I quite like this again in theory, because who doesn't want to see who's dropped by to have a look? But the issue with this is you can only see one person per day who has visited your page, and there is no choice about this. LinkedIn just drops it in. It could be someone that you really don't really want to care about. They're not going to be any use to you, or really simply are not someone who's terribly active on LinkedIn. So I do think that that is a shame that we don't get any choice about that, but it may be that that is going to change and that we will see more of the people who have visited our page. Now, those people who have visited our page and have made some kind of comment or reaction to our posts or our newsletter are automatically invited to follow the page. This is a great idea and I really like it. And I think that this one really has the legs because giving us a list like this does a couple of things. First of all, it tells us whether we are reaching the right people and whether or not the content that we're providing is something that they want to engage with. Because we can see here who is engaging on our content and has been sent an invite to follow the page. This then allows you to go to the person's profile, see whether they are connected to you, and if you want them in your network, then you can send out a connection invite that says you visited our page. We're really pleased to see you. Would you like to connect as well? And I think that's a really useful new feature to have. This is how our page is now looking with these new features. Well, at least this top piece of it anyway. You can see here, and I think that if you visit our page itself, you'll be able to see these in action a little more clearly. But at the top here in the page intro, you can see that we have the first of these external links. And down here, you can see the testimonial quite clearly and the custom action button there on the left in blue. Now, I quite like this because it has extra depth. So if your page doesn't have these extra things, a testimonial and this first of these external links there, then the page header isn't nearly as deep. So this takes up more real estate. And I think that that is a positive thing and gives your page a lot more impact. Now, of course, the main thing that what people want to know is, what are the results? How has this worked for us? And so I wanted to share with you the results after our 90-day experiment with this because it's 3 months today exactly since we signed up for the trial of LinkedIn Premium for Pages. First of all, let's look at the content, and we can see here that the reactions are up 92%, so that's likes and comments. The comments themselves, the reactions are just liked, so those are up 92%. Comments are up nearly 500%, and reposts up 100%. Those look really good, don't they? Until you take into account that organic reach on posts from pages is very low. So working off a low base, those numbers are great. Yes, absolutely agree. But in practical terms, they probably don't account for a great deal. Now, if those numbers are still apply after the next 90 days, then I think that we could really say that that is making a big difference. But at this stage, after only 1 3-month period, probably a little too early to tell about the longer term. The page itself, the views of the page are up 18%. Well, that's really positive. Happy about that. And unique visitors, those are people who are visiting for the first time, 35%. So really good numbers there. But this is the interesting one that I saw. New follower numbers are down 1%. So don't forget, we've been inviting our 250 people each month, as we always do. Plus, we have these auto invites that have been sent out, which aren't part of that 250. So the question I have to ask myself as the person who's creating the content for our page is, why are people looking at the page but not following it as much as I would have expected? Maybe we are not producing enough content or the right kind of content. That is something that we will definitely be wanting to look at to see how we can improve that. The final numbers I wanted to share with you are around the newsletter. Now, we are 2 years into our newsletter. I think we've done 27 issues. We do them on a monthly basis. And around 40%, might be 42 or 43% of our page followers subscribe to our newsletter, and which is a great idea. I think if you're not doing a newsletter, please do, because it means that every time you put out a new issue, then people are going to be getting a notification about that. So views of the newsletter are up 41%. Very pleased to see that. We put a lot of effort into our newsletters, and so it's great to see a lot more people having a look at it. And subscribers are up 4%. So a lot of people come, have a look, and haven't subscribed, but even so, that is still in the green. The only number that's in the red is the increase in new followers. So some work for us to do there, I think. And really, let's sum all this up now. Is it worth it? Well, I think it's worth me pointing out that this is an experiment for us, and our business is experimenting with LinkedIn to see what works and what doesn't, and then to report back to our clients and recommend things to our clients if we think they're going to be useful, and also to be able to share the results like we're doing here today with the experiments that we do conduct and the different features that we try out and techniques. And it is useful to know that there are a lot more things on the plus side of the ledger here when I looked at them and did a summary than there are on the downside. So I do think that they do display a lot better now than they did before, pages with the new features. So that's the extra depth that you can see now in pages in the intro section. I do think too that the external links, having 5 of those is a really good idea. So 2 of them in the page intro and 3 more in the about section. And they show up really nicely when people are visiting your page. We've got more metrics now too. I think that's really helpful, helps us to decide whether or not we're heading in the right direction or have some course adjustments to make. The testimonial too, that's great. Really like the testimonial, but as you could see from what I said there, have just a bit of reservation about that. We have some good news about visitors too to the page, and we can see more about that. The numbers are up. The analytics, we can see more in terms of that as well. And we have the free trial. So a free 30-day trial LinkedIn is offering to anybody who signs up for LinkedIn Premium for Pages. On the downside, it is expensive. It is 150 New Zealand dollars a month, and that is about 50% more than Premium for Profiles. So for larger companies, look, it's a drop in the bucket that won't make any difference to them, and there'll be lots of benefits for them. But for small individual businesses, I do think that this is really something that needs to be considered, whether there is sufficient ROI on this at this point. Now, with more features coming, I think, which I expect there'll be, because that's what they did with Premium for Profiles. With more features coming, I think that that will really increase the usefulness of a Premium for Pages. All the features that they've introduced with this all work as designed, which is a really good thing. And it really has been, I think, a useful little experiment to see how they now look. So all in all, from a perspective of a small business, I would say, on balance, really think it over. Give it a trial by all means and see what you think, because I think that's the only way to really check it out. But I'm not sure that 1 month is sufficient. I think that it probably needs to be a little longer than that, and maybe do what we've done and pay for it for 2 subsequent months and see whether or not it really does make a difference for you and brings you more visitors, more people who sign up, and more people who then visit your website or that external link that you are taking people to. So on balance, I think it's a good idea. We're going to keep it for a little longer, certainly. And if you are a bigger company, then I absolutely think that you should be giving this a trial. Now, we write about these kinds of issues, experiments that we conduct, and other aspects of LinkedIn at our linkability.biz site. Now, this is a members site where you can see dozens of hours of content, videos and articles and presentations, interviews, podcasts, you name it, all there to help you to leverage the power of LinkedIn to achieve your professional goals. Now, please do check it out and do go and have a look at it and see whether or not it is something that is going to be helpful for you. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to drop by to see how we think premium for pages is going to work. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.